Hello and good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're joining us. Once again, this is the Evolving Professional podcast. Here we host professionals from very different fields. They come here, they talk to us about real industry knowledge to help shape our practice. Today, we are very pleased in this podcast to host Stella, who is our resident specialist, our resident professional. We also are here in the studio with Carol Ruth, who we shall be introducing shortly. Once again, this podcast is hosted proudly by Wansom AI. Stella, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Susan. You forgot to mention that I'm your co-host for today, not the professional or the resident, whatever title you gave me. But thank you for introducing this podcast. And as Susan pointed out, today we are joined by a lady who is a lawyer but has chosen the unconventional path, not of, as we know it, dispute resolution or commercial, but a different kind of practice in the law. And we are delighted to host her. Welcome, Carol Ruth, to this episode. And thank you again for sponsoring this episode.
Thank you.
Just briefly, our audience wants to know who is Carol Ruth. So tell us about yourself and what you do.
Thank you, Stella and Susan, for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. So, as you've all heard, my name is Carol Ruth. I am an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I've not been in practice for so long, but it's amazing. So I chose to do technology, basically technology law, emerging trends, emerging technology, because while I was in school, I noticed that this was an interesting and an emerging trend that is happening, and I wanted to set myself apart in the legal industry. I did not want to do basically just dispute resolution or go into corporate, but I wanted to see how can I combine all these aspects of the legal profession with technology, and that is how I got to meet Wansom AI. So Wansom AI is a legal tech AI that is professionally made for advocates, for all lawyers, not only in Kenya, but also around Africa. So it is a legal tech AI that is an assistant basically for you. It helps you with drafting. It helps you with research. It helps you even organize all your documents within one place, which is basically what any advocate will need in their practice every day. Yes.
Okay, thank you. You mentioned about drafting.
Yes.
And for us as lawyers, drafting is it's actually a very difficult task. Yeah, we run away from it, and if you can get any help, we usually welcome it. But let's focus on drafting of contracts. What would you say is a well-drafted contract? What will separate an averagely drafted contract from a well-drafted contract?
From all the feedback that we get from fellow lawyers, from users, and even from judges in the legal profession, we do know that a well-drafted contract, number one, is very clear. It's not ambiguous. Number one, you can identify the risks that can occur within this contract. You can get all the definitions that are related to this contract. Is it an employment contract? Is it a sale agreement? What is the scope of this agreement? Number one, it captures, and number three, it captures the interests and what all these parties that are involved in this contract have negotiated. You have termination clauses, you have payment clauses. Everything is clear. It is well structured. The clauses are numbered, and you can identify the parties, you can identify the risks, you can identify the duties of each and every party. So when you read a contract or when you're going through a contract, everything is clear to you. You know what is covered, you know what the contract is about, and any other issue that may arise within this contract, you will know how to handle it because it is captured in this contract. Yes.
Thank you, Carol. I think my follow-up to that question would be, of course, we've said that there are various contracts. There are so many contracts covering different scopes and service fields. But when it comes to standard and essential clauses, can you point to us, say, 3 main essential contract clauses that cascade through any of the contracts that you'd be asking a lawyer would be drafting?
The various contract, whether it's
Service contract, employment. Are there contracts that I must, are there clauses rather that are very essential to contracts?
Yes.
That are, you can just see these clauses throughout these contracts, whichever contract they might be. They could be employment clauses, they could be service contracts, they could be non-disclose. Are there specific clauses that are essential and that always run through these contracts?
Yes. There are many. I think some that are very important will be a termination clause in a contract. At what point will this contract end? Who can end it at any point? All that information. Something else that will be in a contract that is common is a dispute resolution clause. Yeah, in case there is an issue within our transaction or whatever we are doing, what can we do? Which jurisdiction will be covered? Which dispute resolution mechanism will we go through? Something else will be a payment and remuneration, depending on also the nature of the contract, or a fee that is included within the contract. And I think also something that people miss a lot to include is a definition clause. Yeah, what is the scope of this contract? What are these terms? And the definition will help us interpret this contract, even if we get into a dispute in any point.
Thank you, Carol. To follow that up, of course, if they are universal clauses, then it would also follow that perhaps there is a checklist.
Yes.
What would your checklist include? Of course, you've mentioned the 3 essential clauses that you think always run through contracts, regardless of what contracts they are. But what will your contract checklist look like?
So when you're drafting a contract, again, as we have said, whichever type of contract, and also how Wansom AI is designed to help you draft this contract, it will even guide you, even though you don't know yourself, how do I eventually want this contract to look like. So your checklist number 1 will be your jurisdiction. Which jurisdiction are you basing this contract on? Which law? Is it the laws in Kenya, the laws in Malawi, whichever law? Number 2, your language has to be very clear. You have to avoid ambiguity at all times. So when you're reading through your contract, when you're planning to draft your contract, you have to think, which phrases am I going to use? Which words will I use? Something else that you have to make sure you have in your checklist is, am I capturing the deal of the parties? Am I capturing what these parties had negotiated, what they had agreed? Am I capturing that? You have that in your checklist. Something else, and also Wansom will guide you at any point when you're drafting or when you have prompted Wansom to give you your first draft, let's say an employment contract, yeah? Wansom will ask you, do you want this clause included? Do you want to have a risk analysis done for you for this contract? So those are also things that you can, even though you had forgotten it, to put in your checklist. Okay, have I considered the risk? Have I considered a termination clause? Have I considered the duties of the parties? Have I considered the responsibilities of these parties? Wansom will guide you, and that is how we work to facilitate lawyers having an ease when drafting the contract. Even though you've forgotten, this model will guide you. You may have forgotten this aspect, include this. Do we remove this? And all that.
Okay, thank you, Carol. So you've talked about simplicity and clarity. And I am meant to understand that Wansom AI actually uses AI in legal drafting.
Yes.
So what is it AI can do in terms of drafting, in terms of, or basically, if a client is coming to you, what would you tell them is the value proposition of AI being deployed in drafting. Yes.
If you want to get the full benefits of AI,
Yes.
and someone is asking you that,
Yes.
our answer is always simple. Number one, this makes your work faster, and it also helps you increase accuracy, and it helps you become more efficient in what you do. And what do I mean by that? When you're using AI, number one, AI can help you develop a first draft. And so when you have a first draft of a document, you already have a basis for developing this document. And so that will make you work faster, and it will even make your work efficient because you have already mapped basically what you're going to do. Number one, it helps you suggest clauses or suggest points that you may have missed. Yeah, our model is built on is built to be able to access Kenyan law, Kenyan cases, Kenyan statutes, and many other articles that scholars have written. So based on that, because our system understands how courts have interpreted certain clauses, how courts have identified, you did not include this in your contract, that's why we are here again solving this issue. So because of that, the platform is able to guide you to do that. So I think that is very beneficial when it comes to someone using AI to draft a contract, because you may forget some clauses. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. Some contracts are multiple pages. So with the AI, it will suggest clauses for you, number one. And another thing is it will help you identify risks. In the event that we get into a conflict, in relation to this contract, what are some of the clauses that will give us a problem? How can we address that right now, even before the parties sign this contract? Yeah, and even if we get into a conflict, how can we address this conflict? What will be our position? And the platform will guide in all that. It will provide you with case law, even how the courts have decided matters related to a particular clause, whether it was a termination clause or a payment clause. Yes.
Okay, before Susan comes in to ask you about the risks, just allow me. Our platform caters to even incoming professionals.
Yes.
So we have a lawyer out there, a student who wants to get into tech law. Just give us a brief snippet of maybe what university you went to and what your bias was. How do they come into this space?
Yes. So I went to Kenyatta University School of Law. And my journey to tech law was actually in even the courses that I was selecting. So in your third year and fourth year, you have some courses that are elective. Most of them are related to intellectual property or technology law. So for me, I chose those courses because that was where my interest aligned. And I made sure to also constantly follow articles, professionals in legal tech on LinkedIn, read their articles, know what is happening in legal tech in Kenya and even overall in the world. Another thing is when I decided to specialize, I applied for a master's that was specifically in law and technology. And so that is how I did it. Yes. You can also look at law firms. If you look at websites of law firms, you can see the sort of areas of practice that they do. And if you notice, they do intellectual property, they do law and technology, they do data protection. That is one way. So when you get there, when you apply for your pupillage there, you can always ask your supervising pupil master, I would like to participate in areas that are related to this area, and that is how you build yourself there.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Carol. It has been refreshing just hearing about that journey. But let me just go back to a point where you had mentioned, of course, you have told us about the efficiency of using AI.
Yes.
It is effective, it is quick, it helps you analyze the legal risks faster. You might not anticipate them. But also we know that there are risks that are associated with using an AI platform in and within itself.
Yes.
And we know this also because recently there is a proposed bill that is being introduced proposed to be introduced by Honorable Karen Nyamu on regulating AI.
Yes.
So particularly, what are these risks that are associated with AI? And of course, we know one of the common one that has plagued the legal profession is hallucinations.
Yes.
Can you just tell us about those risks and how Wansom AI tries to mitigate them for their end users?
Yes. AI is like any other tool. So it has its benefits, majority of it are benefits, and it also has its cons. And one of its cons, because it is a technological product, is that hallucination. And just overall, even before we talk about hallucination, a lot of people use AI models to to just cause chaos and deep fakes and everything. And that is also one of the things that is addressed in the bill. But back to hallucination. So hallucination is basically when the AI tool gives you a wrong case or a wrong legal principle and basically gives you information on it, even though it's wrong. So at Wansom, what do? We have hallucination tests, and we have guides where we inform our users how to perform these hallucination tests before you can rely on the platform. And one thing that is common that you can do with as a hallucination test is, number one, as an advocate or as a lawyer, as a law student, there are legal principles that you already know, you are aware of from your first year in school, in law school and everything. So using that principle, you interchange the principle and you input it in the AI and tell the AI, okay, give me information on this. An example of a principle is, for example, we know that criminal cases have to be proved beyond a reasonable doubt. But I can tell the AI, in Kenya, civil cases are supposed to be proved beyond a reasonable doubt. Discuss this for me. So if the AI model provides information rather than telling me, no, your principle is wrong, it's actually criminal cases, then that is how you know your AI is hallucinating. So at Wansom, we have guides, we have articles, we have even done videos of how we can show our users how to test for hallucination. Now, the AI can hallucinate on one thing, but become accurate on another thing. So does that mean you shouldn't you shouldn't rely on the AI? No, it could just be a small technical issue. You can keep testing it multiple times to see if it is hallucinating or not. If it hallucinates more than 3 times, okay, use another model. But if it is just once and the next time you ask and it's okay, it's okay. Now we can assure the listeners that at Wansom we have tested for hallucination and it's accurate.
Let me also follow up by another risk that's legal, and it's a risk that lawyers are keen on, and I think even right now the public, is the privacy and the rules of privacy, that when I input certain information into the model, then the information that I have input might end up being used in another platform and therefore divulging private information that I've input in the model. How does Wansom AI protect privacy? What are the steps that you've taken to really protect privacy of your users?
Yes. And also they fear that their data might be used for training.
Yes.
So the key thing here is confidentiality that is within the legal profession. So one, we can promise our users that we do not use your data for training, number one. Number two, we are very data compliant. We do not collect data. We do not use your data for everything. And our platform is very secure. It is as secure as if you're in your own, as if it's your own phone, the way you can use all that information in your own phone and everything. Now, that is not to say that there is no risk or we might not be hacked or anything, but we can assure them that it is secure. Now, number two, when it comes to inputting confidential information, something that we encourage the users to do as well is when you're initially prompting the model, request the model to use placeholder information, placeholder names. So that is where you would have put the confidential information, the AI will leave that place blank. So maybe it's a name of a client, you do not want to release it yet. Maybe it's a minor client and you don't want that information yet to be known, or maybe you're sharing that workspace with other lawyers and you don't want them to see it. You can use placeholder names. So you can request the model when you're prompting, give me this, and this, and in brackets you say, kindly use placeholder names. So that way, when you download the draft that you have drafted, you can now edit in your own laptop and you can put this confidential information that you want. So that is one way that if you're skeptical and you're thinking, confidentiality, that is it. But generally, our users, we've not had any issue. We've not had anyone complaining about their data being anywhere. And we will continue to keep the space secure. And if anyone has an issue, they're free to tell us at any time. Yes.
Okay, interesting. Now, when lawyers on board and now, of course, patronizing your services, what is it they need to look out for? And allow me to contextualize this. I look at AI, and for me, it's like having an additional legal assistant.
Yes.
So that whatever they give me, I will still have to review it. So what are some of the things lawyers and anyone who will patronize your services should be on the lookout?
Yes. Like you have said, always review the output that you get. AI, Wansom, is your assistant. Yeah, it's like your pupil. You're the pupil master, you have your pupil. You always have to verify what your pupil has done before you can file it in court or even before you can send it to your client. So the same concept, you apply it also to the AI. You should always validate. Now, when you're using Wansom and when you're researching on Wansom, we give you links. You'll get links. Any prompt that you get links, or you get a section. If you're maybe talking about you want to draft an employment contract, before Wansom drafts for you the employment contract, it will first give you information that, your contract is based on the Employment Act of Kenya and everything. And you can always verify because it is linkable. You can verify for yourself, so there is actually an Employment Act and it will cover this section and everything. So that is something that we've done that can help lawyers verify these outputs. Number 2 is you should not outsource. As a lawyer, you should not outsource your professionality. Yeah, it is you. You're the one who has the ethical and the professional standards, and you're the one who is supposed to keep yourself in check. So at no point can you appear in court and say, well, it's Wansom AI that drafted it for me. No, it is your responsibility yourself. So at the moment, we are yet to have cases where people have drafted things in court and it was hallucinated and it has become a big issue because then at that point you'll have to ask, well, where was your professionality as a lawyer? So you should never outsource your legal judgment. You're the first and the last person, and the AI is your assistant. It is not there to replace you, and it is not there to replace the judge. Yes.
Okay, thank you. As we bring this session to a close, we've just scratched the surface. We hope to have many more sessions because there's a lot that we need to discuss. But let me go back to my co-host for her parting shot or any question she has for you.
I think I would just like to wrap my question round with just one last question. There are very many LLMs that are available right now for users. And I know you've spoken very well about Wansom AI and the edge that they have. But just to close, what is the edge that Wansom AI has above all the other LLM platforms that are out here for users to use?
Number 1, I think we are jurisdiction specific, which I think gives us a bigger edge than the other ones. So we cover 16 jurisdictions at the moment, with Kenya being the main one. We have access to legal sources, so we have access to Kenya law. Within our platform, you can access Kenya law, you can access the Legal Institute in Uganda, Legal Institute in Malawi, where if you are researching beyond your jurisdiction or you are just within your jurisdiction, you can still get all that information. Number 3, we cover many areas. So we do drafting, we do review, we do research, and we also have agents. Another thing that we have is that you do not need to copy paste your work to another workspace, to let's say Word. We have an inbuilt Word where you can edit your work there, you can import, you can upload documents, and you can download the same document where you can edit within your chat. Another thing that we have is that you can share your work. If you, Stella, and Susan are working on a project, both of you don't even need to meet. You can just chat within the same workspace. You can, when Stella uploads documents, you can see it, you can both review it together, you can chat, you can edit, you can do everything within the same chat, and so that even it enforces confidentiality because the project is between the two of you in any case. Something else that I can say that we have is that we do not only have individual users, we also have law firms. We have about 40 law firms that are using Wansom AI. We will love to have more using Wansom AI, and the feedback that we get is amazing. Yeah, it has made their organization within the law firm efficient. In fact, they're doing less printing because before you print, you have to make you edit everything within that workspace, all that, and so once you print, what you're printing is the final copy. We also have individual users who are beyond Kenya. We have users in Singapore, we have users in the US, and they're using also our research tool. Our research tool, like I've said, it's very effective. It's the best so far of any LLM. I can confidently say that. You get links, you get sources, which you can verify. You can always verify. And something that we consistently say is that Wansom is not your lawyer, it's not your judge, it is your assistant. Yes, it is there to make your work easier so that you can have time for for developing your strategy, and you can even intake more clients within your firm.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a nice way of marketing this product. You mentioned about printing as I wind up. I love that it reduces printing.
Mm-hmm.
Susan and I are ESG enthusiasts.
Yes.
So we are very big on anything that will help us reduce impact on the environment.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone is interested in your services, how do they get you? How do they reach you?
So simply, you can go to wansom.ai. You'll find us there. You can book a demo there. You can also find us on LinkedIn at Wansom AI, where you can send us your DMs. You'll find our email there. You can also send us emails there. That's the simplest way you can find us. When you're at the website, though, at wansom.ai, you'll find a lot of resources. In case you're still not sure, is Wansom what I want, you'll find a lot of resources. We've written a lot of articles. We've talked about hallucination here and prompting a little bit. You'll find information there. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this podcast, which is the Evolving Professional Podcast. For us, we believe that knowledge is most powerful when it serves a purpose. And we are happy and delighted and also grateful to Wansom AI for sponsoring this session. As we said, we've basically scratched the surface. We hope to have many more sessions in the future. And before we wind up, my co-host here, who has been with me, maybe there's something she needs to say. You might not see her more often on this podcast, but let her speak for herself. Susan.
Thank you, Stella. Of course, it has been a great time hosting and also co-hosting this space with my co-host Stella, who's been present in these several podcasts. Today, we have had the opportunity to learn about the technological advancements and the strides that had been made in the legal profession by incorporating AI. And I hope that, Stella, you'll have me back here sometimes to speak about other things, even though I'll not be as frequent on this podcast. But for sure, we will. This is not, in any case, goodbye. You'll still find ways to incorporate several discussions that we'll have on very many professional areas that are covered in this podcast. So with that said, it has been a lovely segment. I've been your host, Susan Mwango, together with my co-host, Stella Orengo.